let's get cracking. My name is Dina. I am the head of our solar and battery research at LCP Delta, which is a market intelligence and strategic advisory consultancy. We help our clients navigate and sort of invest in the energy transition, and very glad to be here. I pass over to Agata.
Agata Krawiec-Rokita, CEO and co-founder of sun.store. sun.store is a B2B marketplace used for selling and buying solar components, including energy storage. We operate for 1.5 years, and right now we provide roughly 1 gigawatt of components annually to the system.
Yeah, thank you also very much, first of all, for the invitation. My name is Sven Armbrecht. I'm head of sales for SegenSolar. We are a leading distributor worldwide with different kind of products, especially focusing on solar. I'm head of sales. I'm already 21 years in this industry, so I have seen a lot, and I'm very happy to share my experience in this round here. Yeah, thank you.
I don't know if it works. Okay. My name is Davide Lonardi. Happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Honored to present the Solavita brand, which is part of the Skyworks Group, which is one of the main Chinese brands focusing on solar business, utility scale, and residential rooftops systems, and balcony too. So we would like to introduce our full range of product for residential solution. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's see if the slides work. So if you allow me, maybe I do some scene setting first, just to get there, right? So let's take a look. So, what a solar coaster of a journey. Yeah, solar has been on in Europe over this past 25 years. If you look at the graph, this is the annual installed capacity in gigawatts of solar in Europe from year 2000 to today, broken down by key segments. Now, I'll walk through this one by one, and I'll pull out some key observations. So, let's go. Now, the first observation is that we are seeing a marked increase in utility solar farms and off-site corporate PPA projects, thanks to ambitions at a national and energy supplier level to green up our electricity mix, and at a corporate procurement level, as businesses seek to attain long-term price stability and sustainability credentials, right? Now, if we look at the other end of the size spectrum, we have balcony PV. I mean, what a remarkable thing balcony PV has done over this past few years. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I think there was a company early on that also presented some of their products. So these are mainly sort of plug-and-play small systems, very popular with multifamily home apartments, typically about 1 kilowatt in system size. And to put it into perspective, for it to even be visible on a gigawatt scale graph, you'd have to be installing in the hundreds of thousands of these each year, right? So that's impressive. And equally impressive is the growth in collective self-consumption schemes. So this is where multiple end users benefit from one sort of local scheme. So both balcony PV and collective self-consumption experienced double-digit growth last year, and is really democratizing solar. It's opening up access to apartment owners, to tenants, to urban dwellers to access solar when historically they couldn't participate. And now, the final trend, if I layer on top of that the rooftop systems on residential buildings and commercial and industrial buildings, as an aggregate, this entire layers of segments form the distributed behind-the-meter segment, which, as you can see, still forms the backbone of Europe's solar landscape. So that's a bit of scene setting from me. Now, I guess quick question, maybe we focus on balcony PV first. What do you think are the barriers that still need to be addressed to encourage that continued deployment in Europe.
First of all, maybe some sentence regarding the interesting development in PV. As I mentioned before, I started 21 years ago, and I still remember when I was a student, and I studied in Aachen, that was quite connected to a utility company in that time, and they also gave some courses regarding that. And I still remember the talks was, yeah, solar and PV will be still very small. It will be tiny for the entire years. And I think we can very proud the whole industry what we have made in the last couple of years in order to see it with all the up and downs what we can see. In terms of your question, barriers definitely still there. First of all, I think sometimes it's really underestimating, especially the mounting system of a balcony model. So I see it a little bit skeptical, all these do-it-yourself solutions, so that those kind of things are then offered to end customer and they try to install it by their own. Could be a bit critical, how to fix it and so on. Secondly, still, of course, there will be also a point of time for sure, where then also those kind of fluctuation, what we can see from balcony panels as well, that this will have some influence on the grid itself, grid stability. But at the end of the day, just to say the barriers are still there, but definitely are manageable. So from their perspective, I would say, yeah, we should overcome it, and I'm 100% sure that we also will do it.
I will add just one point. I was actually doing a small test on how to do the balcony system at my, let's say, I live in 100 apartments building, and it's almost impossible to get it over there because you need to get approval of basically...
Approval from?
From the, let's say, the management of the building, but they need to get, let's say, the voting from all the apartments, and then basically nobody wants one apartment to have it on the balcony because it would affect all the building, how it looks, etc. So there is like very small and down-to-earth problem with getting the permit, or let's say the approval of your neighbors, basically. How it influences the building. That would be also very, very important for some. And then majority of the apartments, especially small, are rented. So basically it's also difficult to, because you need also to get approval first from the owner of the apartment and then from the, let's say, management of the building. So quite difficult for a 1 kilowatt system, right? So even if it makes sense from the cost benefit perspective, even if like you get the investment back in 3, 4, 5 years, it's simply too small to do all this effort of getting all the approvals and fighting with the neighbors. That's my take on this. And the second, probably equally important, is that there is no awareness that actually you can do it in the apartment. I think that we know it because we are in the industry, but regular people think, okay, solar is for homeowners, not for the balcony, like it's not for the balcony and for my apartment.
I would like to say a couple of things, because these are the main topics in opposition to the balcony system solutions. In terms of product, we can talk a little bit about the product itself. It is true that 800 watts, maybe the common end user find it completely unuseful to install in his home, in his apartment. But we also have to think that it's not necessary to mount it on the balcony. You can have a terrace. You can have a tiny roof, flat roof in your home, and you can use it just to, just balance your consumption. Of course, it's not enough to sustain the consumption of an entire apartment, entire four people family. That's obvious. But we are trying to present like this solution for whoever cannot install a rooftop system. That's the point. So you can use this tiny solar system just to, cover some daily activities, maybe the washing machine, some consumption during the day. And what is interesting about it is the technology right now allow every customer to add also a tiny storage system to the one or two solar panels together. So we, as a state-of-the-art high-tech company, focusing on the new horizons of the solar business, we found that this improvement in balcony products could be also useful for a flexible usage. You can take it with you if you go for holiday vacations with your camper or mobile home, and adapt the two technologies, of course. If you look at it, just putting on a balcony and fixing the mounting, it's quite difficult to make it popular, because as Agata said, if you live at the 44th floor in a skyscraper, maybe you cannot get the permission to mount it. And I can take it to the table. Sorry if I take more minutes. The Italian market example, because Germany, and I come from Italy, of course, so I can testify this to you. I know that in Germany, in the last 2 years, there was a lot of discussion about the permitting process, and on the contrary, in Italy, there wasn't anything. Since that, thanks to the fact that we didn't have to register our balcony system, and many Italians brought it and put it whoever knows where, because so we cannot have an idea of how many balcony systems we were installing in the country. But the permissions required were very easy to get. So only if you exceed the 800 watts for the system, you need to get an electrical scheme, a project, and so we say a design for this tiny system. But I think we will see more and more evolution on that side, just because it's a more flexible solution for everybody.
No, that's good. Thank you. So quality certified installation, there is some permitting and multiple stakeholders involved in whether you're even able to get it. But there's hope. There's lots of flexibility in the product solution as well. So that's good. Broadening out, I guess, from not just balcony PV to the wider sort of distributed market. So if I look at this graph, the solar prosumer of today faces a new reality, right? So if we look at the sort of mid-2010s, when there was the first bump, let's say, in this solar coaster, when we had generous feed-in tariffs from a few select first-mover countries. And then we have, well, of course, our most recent spike, when the energy crisis happened, and of course, post-pandemic, there were a lot of economic boosting policies and green subsidies. Now, as these stimuli phase out or normalize, the prosumer of today can't just rely on traditional incentives and has to unlock new value streams. So a question for you guys, at the EU policy or national incentive schemes, thank you, how effective is our frameworks currently in engaging that sort of long-term prosumer engagement? So the prosumer of today, are current frameworks effective?
I think it was already mentioned in the session before. The importance of a scheme it's getting less and less important from my perspective. So there was even one comment that someone mentioned, maybe we should rather skip all the subsidy schemes now and rely on the technology itself, especially because solar is really, became really quite affordable for a lot of people. There are now coming also, especially in Germany, some CO2 taxes very soon. So prices of electricity and other energy sources will go up very likely again. And there will be an intrinsic motivation more and more for homeowners, but also maybe for people who live in an apartment to see how he can save some of this future electricity cost. So again, a stable framework, that would be fantastic. And a stable framework would be there for the next 5-6 years, that everyone in the industry can build up the business scheme and all the setup. That from my perspective, if we could come to this point, I think everyone would be quite happy in this industry, at least how I see it.
No framework is also stable framework. Or no schemes. I agree actually that after 70% of price drop on the equipment, it should make sense even without or with lower subsidies. So that's totally, I would agree with you.
Oh, let me say something. I represent a Chinese company, so in terms of regulation and framework, they came here, and looking at Europe, they were looking at Italy, Germany, France, Poland, Spain. Every country, different incentives, different subsidies. So, in terms of a common European regulation, this is the main topic we should discuss. Maybe other colleagues of us have discussed before, and it's a discussion that maybe should involve also mixed energy utility scale project, the balancing of the grids, and we don't have a common regulation. Maybe if I remember well, just the previous speakers were talking about fragmentation in Europe, which is our main lack. If you look at the Chinese market, there's one only regulation that rules there, and all the company can provide services, provide solutions for the internal grid and electricity market. So yes, I completely agree with you. Yes.
That's something what we very often see on our platform, is that like when some market is giving, let's say, new wave of subsidies, there is like huge demand and they are sourcing from all over Europe. Then next 2 months, let's say Poland is giving subsidy on energy storage. So the whole Europe is like sourcing to Poland this energy storage. So it's like, it's individual solar clusters in each country.
Hysterical framework. Yeah, hysterical. Italian market ran in these latest 3 years more than 20 different regulamentations, starting from some like we call them bonuses, like 50%. That you can get back in 10 years. Then you get the super bonus 110%, almost for free, okay? Everybody was mad about it. The market was bumping a lot. And of course, every time, you experience a bump in the market, then after that, it should occur an opposite wave, okay? And in the last 2 years, after the super bonus, we changed the regulation 4 times. And now we are running transition point 5, which is a measure to allow companies to get 40 or 50 or 60%. We had 3 stages of incentives. And if you sum up all the laws, you get a book that and you need 4 people to understand which kind of regulation you can apply to a specific project. So we should really make it more simple for everybody, companies in the European community and citizens, of course. That's my opinion.
Thank you.
Directions.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Always right.
No, that's all right.
Don't worry.
Just now you mentioned product sourcing. So, I mean, while we have 2 wholesalers on our panel here, so of course some installers will face challenges at different periods of their times in terms of products sourcing and supply chain disruptions. So how are wholesalers supporting smoother procurement, one? And what trends do you see emerging for solar professionals? How are they buying and managing inventory?
So I can start on the first one. So I think there are three main trends in how wholesalers support installers. First would be on the ease of access to the stock levels and, let's say, live tracking of what is available. It is platforms like SunStore, but also almost every single big wholesaler or distributor has already e-commerce platform where everyone can log in, see what is available at what price. So this is the B2C experience of seeing what's available and also how much of the equipment is available, so they're able to plan the procurement better. So that would be the first. The second is actually coming with slightly with the first, because it is simply ease of procurement on live 24/7 and connection to the ERP systems. So the most advanced platforms would have connection to the installer ERP, so the invoicing, warehousing can go directly from e-commerce/platform to the ERP. And third would be around financing. This is quite difficult nowadays because more and more companies on the market are having cash flow issues, so the insurance is more expensive, the factoring is more expensive, but still financing of the trade financing is very important, especially for the small installers who struggle to finance the equipment before their end client pays to them. So financing, buy now, pay later, or all that kind of solutions support the installers. Then on top of all these three would be the end-to-end logistics, just-in-time product availability, so the installer can basically buy in dropshipping model from the distributor warehouse to the end client location in ready set.
Yeah, totally agree.
All of them you use.
Yeah, I
right?
think to add maybe on that, I think it's also very important to cooperate with the right distribution partners, of course. We spend hours every week in just for our demand planning to anticipate possible market trends, because the main challenge, of course, for installers is will the market be short or will the market be oversupplied? And can I expect better prices next week, yes or no? I think that is the main question always for an installer. And our answer is always, yeah, trust us. We try to read, also with the help, of course, with companies like you we're working for, yeah, just to see what kind of key indicators can we read and to understand, will there be an oversupply market in the next 3-4 months, yes or no? So that the installers can immediately then rely a little bit on our judgment. Are we always right? Of course not. Yeah, that's the situation. It's so difficult in our industry because the situation that the market is getting short, what we currently can see in the solar models at the moment. Let's see how the market will be after Intersolar. That is always a good signal in this trade fair. And this we give to our customers. Secondly, what we try also, make agreements with our installers. So don't trust only on our portal. Get in contact with our account manager and provide to us your forecast for the next upcoming weeks. And we try to fix with you an agreement where you can a little bit mitigate the risk, and you can fix it, and you can even give this kind of agreement and also to your end customer. So focus on the core things, what you should do. So that's two things I would say where you can work on. On the other hand, I think what you also mentioned, not only try the portal, try your account manager, get feedback from them, try to be connected, and hopefully we all come to the same understanding how the market will be in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever. Yeah?
Well, for me to answer, it's a little bit more complex. just because Skyworks Group, which of course, as I said before, owns the property of Solavita, it is a very old, let me say old company, private company in China, 37 years of age, which is one among the oldest ones. We provide high-tech, state-of-the-art solutions for the smart appliances, life's good. So in terms of products, we can talk about almost everything, okay, from fridge to washing machine, from TV, which led us the top #1 place for TV sales in China and manufacturing TV, of course. So our aim is to manufacture all the components for the smart home. So home automation in our vision should be the horizon of all the effort we put into the market. In terms of solar, we just provide all the full range of product that we may need in our homes, and so that we can, run the home 100% energy free. We have stock and forecast 6 months of forecast for Europe market. We have a warehouse in Belgium, in Düsseldorf, to accomplish all the fluctuation of the demand of the market, which, as said, you cannot prevent for more than 2 months, but we should ship from China, so we need to have enough stock balances in our warehouse. We have offices in Düsseldorf and in Italy, so we try to manage a European market, which is not the local one. So it's a little bit complex, but in terms of company vision and strategy, since we are a widely, range of product provider, our supply chain is very organized and strategically organized to reply to any kind of fluctuation and demands.
Thank you. Just because you said smart home, so maybe then I segue to this section, because so far we've spoken about solar, right? So if we take the residential sector as an example, and you think of the average home, so solar is not the only sort of major energy asset. So across Europe, as of end 2024, we have a huge base of air-to-air heat pumps, electric hot water tanks, direct electric heating, and of course, it's noted that not all of these will be newer, smart, or connectable appliances, but still, it's a huge base. And if you think of the other major upcoming assets, so you've got your hydronic heat pumps, your home EV chargers, your battery storage, your smart products like appliance optimization and home energy management systems. So maybe a question to David, do you see the integration of solar with smart home technologies evolving? Are consumers demanding such bundled solutions?
Oh yes, thank you for the question. Yes, I forgot to say we also manufacture heat pumps, hot water tanks, everything here represented.
One-stop shop, very good.
Yeah, everything. So the answer is yes. We should, try to make a unique home manageable app that allow us to manage and monitor the performance of all the equipment we install in our apartments. It's not that easy. We were experiencing in Italy a bump of heat pumps installation in the last 2 years. It was somehow a mess for the end users, to be honest, just because the electricity consumption was increasing a lot, and they have an application for the heat pump, an application for the solar roof, an application for the car, and we also manufacture EV cars. That it was true. We manufacture everything, so we try to unify this complex, product offer that maybe in the future we will see increasing in terms of demand into one-stop solution. That's exactly what we do.
Great. Well, last question from me to the panelists, then we can wrap up with our final thoughts. Just because I was talking just now and I heard the word AI at least 5 times. So let's talk AI, all right? So AI and machine learning are beginning to play, quite a role in solar deployment and smart energy use. So where do you see the most promising applications? Is it in forecasting? Is it in diagnostics? Is it in energy management use? Something else?
Yes, so in my opinion, the last super great company I've noticed on some clean tech energy conference was on the deep AI and blockchain-based flexibility management for the virtual power plants, where they basically predict and optimize how much to use, store, and basically each of the distributed energy assets, how to manage basically them from the centralized standpoint. So for the really big virtual power plants, let's say managers, how to use it in order to optimize the whole, let's say, energy flow within the plant. And that's I don't even understand how they do it, but the results are quite amazing.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm already in the mid-40 to say, and I need to be honest. It's I think something what we currently really underestimating the power of this AI, and I can only recommend to everyone to really get fast knowledge about this, because it can really support you for setting up a business that's much more efficient. So we see that in our company that we use more and more AI tools, and the way we are doing it, it's more or less, it's much faster, much more reliable, and we save a lot of working hours just to use these tools. And I guess you can use it for everything. So from my perspective, at the moment, there's a huge opportunity in AI for sure, but still a huge lack of knowledge and a little bit resistant in order to use this kind of softwares. So me included, yeah, I have to say, me included. And but it's definitely a high requirement to get very quick on which kind of technologies you should use. Otherwise, it can be very fast that some market players just overtake you very quickly because they are using it. So yeah, again, I cannot really especially say which one it's now for the home users, for the home companies. I think there are AI tools already for everything. The most critical part is now that you should very quickly get an overview about all the softwares in order to make and to implement it.
Maybe some underestimate, but there is already tons of startups in this area, and on this flexibility topic is dozens of them already working on the solution, already on round A, B. So it's this train is already speeding.
I have almost anything to add to this topic because AI is already affecting lifestyle everywhere. So we are starting to use in the customer service and some automation or replies, messages, and maybe some softwares to manage, our solution. But who knows? I truly doubt a lot about this giving the power to AI. This is a personal feeling I have because, as my colleague, I'm also in my mid-40s, so it's not the right generation to ask. Maybe my daughter will be more specific. She knows many things more than me. But in terms of solar energy market, AI is already present. We use it, as said, to give powerful after-sale support. That's easy. Also in the monitoring app, we have a lot of questions, frequently asked questions, that AI can, provide powerful reply to everything. So this is what I see for our market.
No, I agree with everything you guys have said. This is the one area to track, definitely, or that we are tracking for sure. So let's end in a positive note, and since I have the residential sector graph up here with me. So, just again to put into perspective, across Europe, there are 260 million dwellings, okay? So split across your single-family home, two-family home types, your detached, semi-detached, terraced homes, and your multi-family home apartment dwellings, okay? So 260 million, of which, you can see there, only 17 million have a rooftop solar system, just over 1 million have balcony PV, and a few hundred thousands have collective self-consumption schemes. So can you see how little has been tapped? 17 million have a rooftop system. There's 260 million of these dwellings. So, think of all the prosumers to come and the untapped opportunity. So, guys, how do we convert this next wave of solar customers, whether it's residential? I gave the example of residential, but C&I as well. How do we convert them? How do we get that graph continuing on that positive pace?
It's even not only the rooftop, I would say.
Yeah.
If you think about facade and all this kind of stuff for application, it definitely will also come very soon, what we will see. So, no, I think that's a super thing on solar, especially PV, that you can already mention, you can use it everywhere, and there's so many possibilities, and there's definitely a bright future. Yeah, how to convert them? Yeah? I think it needs to be affordable. It needs to be very easy to use. It needs to be easy to connect. It should be reliable, of course, as well. And I think if you fulfill these kind of requirements, you not only entering always the first adapter, very quickly you come into the mass market. So we are already in, and with some products, I would say balcony, battery system, we are just at the beginning. But if people will see that this kind of solution will reduce the electricity bill significantly, I think we will very likely see a kind of tornado which going up and then providing us with all of business. And then, of course, again, coming back to supply chain, this is, of course, our main task as a distributor, ensuring also that the right product for the right time and the right quantities is always there so that we can always serve the market. Therefore, we need to cooperate with manufacturers very closely together to also inform them how we see the market. And also, of course, we need to see always what kind of demand might be in the European market in general. So that would be my answer a bit. Yeah, bright future for sure. And we see even much more application. And if we bring everything together, I think we will have some good times in solar for sure.
I think we will see a constant and consistent increase of rooftop in the next year. What I have to say is that it's a cultural problem, because we were starting thinking about the solar system once the solar system didn't exist. But as for now, every time you see a new building, whoever it builds, he must understand that a rooftop that produces energy for apartments and homes is like the fridge or the washing machine. You cannot, I think, anymore think an house or apartment or building without a solar source. That's so powerful and affordable that in the future it will be part of our lifestyle culture. So now I have to explain to somebody how it works. But I think in still 3, 4, 5 years, who knows, everybody will accept it. Like you have a washing machine. No, I don't have to explain how the washing machine washes your clothes, right? It's that simple, it's that easy. Depends. To somebody, maybe.
I think that all of us in this industry, we spot some problems, issues, we try to solve them, and with these small steps, we will push forward the adoption.
Well, thank you everyone
Thank
do you have a final point?
No, sorry, I only forgot that the grid is a problem.
We'll sort it out slowly.
The panel without this grid is a
It's not
problem.
invited. The grid is not here. It's not here with us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.